army of the Queen hath got the field. My uncles both are slain in rescuing me. And all my followers to the eager foe turn back and fly like ships before the wind, or lambs pursued by hunger-starved wolves. My sons, God knows what hath benchanted me, but this I know. They have demeaned themselves like men born to renown by life or death. 3 times did Richard make a lane to me, and thrice cried, "Courage, father! Fight it out!" Full as oft came Edward to my side, with purple falcon, painted to the hilt in blood of those that had encountered him. And when the hardiest warriors did retire, Richard cried, "Charge, and give no foot of ground!" He cried, "A crown, or else a glorious tomb, a scepter, or an earthly sepulchre!" With this, we charged again. But alas, we bogged again, as I have seen a swan with bootless labor swim against the tide and spend her strength with o'ermatching waves. Oh, hark, the fatal followers do pursue. And I am faint and cannot fly with fury. And were I strong, I would not shun their fury. The sands are numbered that make up my life. Here must I stay. And here must my life end. Come, Lakes of the rough Northumberland. I dare to quench this furious war rage. I am your butt, and I abide your shout.
Brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland, come make him stand upon this moat here, that rocked like mountains with outstretched arms, yet parted but a shadow with his hand. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where was your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George? Where was that crook-backed prodigy Dickie, your boy? That wand with his grumbling voice was not to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier point may issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water, I will give you this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. And prithee, grieve to make me merry, York. What? Hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad, and I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus! Stand, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance! Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York! And lords bow low to him. Hold you his hands, whilst I would set it on. Ay, marry, now looks he like a king. Ay, this is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he with his adopted heir. But how is it the great Plantagenet is crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you now hail your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem now in his life against your holy oath? Oh, to the fault! Too unpardonable! Off with the crown! And with the crown, his head. And whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead.
That is my office, for my father's sake.
Nay, stay. Let's hear the orisons he makes.
She-wolf of France, but worse than wolves of France, whose tongue more poisons than the adder's tiger's tooth. How ill-beseeming is it in thy sex to triumph like an Amazonian trull upon their woes whom fortune captivates? But that thy face is lizard-like, unchanging, made impudent by use of evil deeds, I would essay, proud queen, to make thee blush. To tell thee whence thou camest, of whom derived, were shame enough to shame thee, wert thou not shameless. Thy father bears the title of King of Naples, of both the Sicils and Jerusalem, yet not so wealthy as an English yeoman. Hath that poor monarch taught thee to insult? It needs not, nor it boots thee not, proud queen, unless the adage must be verified, that beggars mounted run their horse to death. 'Tis beauty that doth oft make women proud, but God, he knows thy share thereof is small. 'Tis virtue that doth make them most admired. The contrary doth make thee wondered at. 'Tis government that makes them seem divine, the want thereof makes thee abominable. Thou art as opposite to every good as the antipodes are unto us, or as the south to the septentrion. O tiger's heart wrapped in a woman's hide, how canst thou drain the lifeblood of the child, bid the father wipe his eyes withal, and yet be seen to wear a woman's face? Women are soft, mild, pitiful, and flexible. Thou stern, obdurate, flinty, rough, remorseless, bidst thou me rage? Well, now thou hast thy wish! Wouldst have me weep? Well, now thou hast thy will. For raging winds blow up incessant showers, and when the rain delays, the rain begins. These tears are my sweet Rutland's obsequies, and every drop cries vengeance for his death against thee, Van Clifford, and thee, false Frenchwoman.
This passion's moving that I can hardly check my eyes from tears.
That face of his the hungry cannibals would not have touched, would not have stained with blood. But you are more inhuman, more inexorable, 10 times more than tigers of Hyrcania. See, ruthless queen, a hapless father's tears. This cloth thou dippest in blood of my sweet boy, and I with tears do wash the blood away. Keep thou this napkin, and go boast of this. And if thou tellst the heavy story right, upon my woes the hearers will shed tears. Yea, even my foes will shed fast-falling tears and cry, alas, it was a piteous deed. Take the crown, and with the crown my curse, and in thy need such comfort come to thee as I now reap at thy too cruel hand. Hard-hearted Clifford, take me from the world, my soul to heaven, and my blood upon your hands!
And even slaughterment to all my kin, I would not for the life but weep for him, to see how keenly sorrow grips his soul.
Weeping right, my lord Northumberland? Think but upon the wrong he did us, and let him quickly dry thy melting tears.
Here's for my oath. Here's for my father's death.
And here's for our gentle-hearted king.
Oh, against mercy, gracious God. My soul flies through these wounds to seek out thee.
Off with his head, and set it on York gates, so York may overlook the town of York.